Today on the Topic Show, Kamala Harris's VP says you have no right to free speech. Jamie Rasputin planned to stop Trump even if he is duly elected. Cori Bush loses and claims she is now radicalized. Elon Musk Kamala Communism speech goes viral. Tim Waltz Minnesota burning video goes viral as well. Disney streaming finally turns its first profit. A court finds that Google maintained an illegal monopoly. McDonald's to debut limited edition glasses to try to boost sales. Dell layoffs mount, and Harley Davison locks all of their Twitter comments as the boycott ensues. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Disney streaming finally turning its first profit after losing lots of millions and billions of dollars, which is actually pretty impressive that people are still paying for that, but there's a market for everything. Now this comes to us thanks to the original search engine, Yahoo, specifically the finance division. And they say, quote, Disney earnings streaming unit for the first time show profit, while the parks, well, they're not doing so great. Now this is according to Alexandra Canal, who's a writer over there. See a little bit of the Disney stock ticker, which, again, not financial advice. Shoot, it's always 2020. If I had a magic 8-ball, Lord only knows how much would be possible if you actually had one of those for stock. But or you just manipulate the market or know things like Nancy Pelosi. But I partially digress. Now, they say, quote, Disney's fiscal third quarter is direct-to-consumer streaming business, which includes Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, posted an operating income of $47 million compared to a loss of $512 million in the same period last year. The company had previously expected to achieve its streaming profitability by the current quarter. Overall, the company reported a Q3 adjusted earnings of $1.39 per share, above the $1.19 that analysts polled by Bloomberg had expected, and higher than the $1.03 that Disney had reported a year prior. They said that the revenue came in at a whopping $23.2 billion, exceeding the consensus expectations for $23.1 billion, and higher than the $22.3 billion they reported a year ago. I mean, that being said, the big elephant in the room, or donkey in the room, is inflation's a thing. So, yeah, just compare last year's money to this year's money, it's worth even less thanks to the ineptitudes of the U.S. government on the left and the right. They say, quote, Disney also raised its guidance for full-year adjusted earnings growth to 30%, up from prior 25%. Looks like the stock had gone up a little bit, but then dipped back down on the news of this. They say that, quote, looking ahead, Disney said it remains on track for streaming profitability to improve by the fourth quarter, with both direct-to-consumer entertainment, with posted a loss of $19 million in Q3. ESPN Plus expected to be profitable. This is a good news for him. Bob Iger, the CEO, said, quote, every time we've taken a price increase, we've only seen a modest churn from that, nothing that we would consider significant. He also added his goal for streaming is, quote, to grow engagement on the platform, hence new features and bundling opportunities. Which is astonishing. Even with all the political and economic uncertainty, all businesses, all people struggling, people are still paying for stuff like Disney Plus, which I would argue is the most useless thing you buy right now in terms of 110% a luxury. No one needs it. And there's pretty much unlimited entertainment for free on platforms like YouTube and the big green streaming one that I prefer, as well as you got the free versions of Spotify. It blows my mind that even now everyone is struggling. The grocery prices are out of control, and yet they still pay for Disney Plus. I mean, kudos to Disney. They're convincing people to buy their stuff even now. And yeah, I guess we should be too surprised. Americans also have a huge trillions of dollars in credit card debt and all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, it's impressive that Disney can still pump a profit out. They finally got to that profitability point, which again took billions and some time, but they got to that point finally. Now, will the sales continue to increase for the rest of this calendar year? When again, nobody on the planet needs Disney Plus. It's a ridiculous luxury. Although it'd be fascinating to see the statistics on how many people actually go to the public library to get a public book to read. Probably depressingly small in terms of a percentage point. But let me know, do you know anyone who's still paying for a Google or a Yahoo or Yoo-hoo? I'm kidding, I know it's called Hulu. do you know anyone who actually is still paying for that media platform? I think, what is it? No, one of my friends loves the Rick and Morty. I think that's an exclusivity contract for streaming through Hulu, produced by Adult Swim, I think. But do you know anyone who like will only buy that platform as that one thing? Anecdotally, I think I do I have one person I know who pays for that platform. But let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have a judge ruling that Google has illegally maintained a monopoly. Though, what will be the consequences? Probably nothing. But nevertheless, a fascinating ruling. This comes to us thanks to, again, the OG search engine Yahoo Finance, as well as the Associated Press. Pull it up right here. And they say, quote, Google illegally maintained monopoly over internet search. Judge rules. Well, I don't think this judge does rule in terms of he's cool, as the youth might say, but this grammatical error, it's just well, not error. He literally ruled on the case, but that word pun kind of fell flat, but I went for it, kind of. Only partially digress. Now, this comes to us thanks to Michael Leitier and Matthew Boycott, who are writers of the Associated Press. They say, quote, a judge ruled that Google's ubiquitous search engine had been illegally exploiting its dominance to squash competition and stifle innovation, a seismic decision that could shake up the internet and help up one of the world's best-known companies. Well, best-known, most controlling, most manipulative, most censorious platform on the planet. Again, I highly implore people to use alternatives like the big green one. That's one I like to stream. That's one I prefer. They say, quote, the highly anticipated decision issued by U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta came nearly a year after the starting of the trial, pitting the U.S. Justice Department against Google in the country's biggest antitrust showdown in the quarter century. After reviewing reams of evidence that included testimony from top executives at Google, Microsoft, Apple during the last year's 10-week trial, Mehta issued his potentially market-shifting decision 3 months after the two sides prepared their closing arguments in early May. He said, quote, after having carefully considered and weighing the witness testimony and evidence, the court reaches the following conclusion. Google is a monopolist and has acted as one to maintain a monopoly. And, unquote, he also, I guess his ruling was 277 pages. We need a Cliff Notes for rulings. There probably is one. Now, he said, quote, Google's dominance in the search engine market is evidence of its monopoly. Google enjoys, wow, it's actually not as much as I thought relative to my expectations. They say, quote, Google enjoys an 89.2% share of the market for general search engine services, which increases to 94.9% on mobile devices. 94.9% on mobile devices. That is astronomical. Can't but think 18 people also appreciate, was it Apple Safari? Is that the one that they call for their search engine? I think we all have one friend who uses that one. Personally, I prefer platforms like Brave, or search engines like Brave. They say, quote, it represents a major setback for Google and its parent company Alphabet, which has steadfastly argued that the popularity stemmed from consumers' overwhelming desire to use a search engine so good what it does is become synonymous with looking things up online. Google search engine processes an estimated 8.5 billion queries per day worldwide, nearly doubling the daily volume from 12 years ago. Of course, they were growing like a weed, or some might argue a tumor. Yeah, it's quite concerning how easily they can manipulate the users to sway elections and, really push public opinion. And there realistically isn't a lot of competition. Very similar to the YouTube. Most people had never even heard of the big green competitor that I upload on daily to multiple times, which is a shame. I tell as many people about as possible. It's called Rumble, and spoiler alert, there's a rumor that if you say that, just if you whisper that name on the YouTube, it gets your videos shadow banned and yada yada, which, fascinatingly enough, after I started covering certain controversial business and cultural topics, the views went down to relatively zero, though production had increased. So, fascinating how that statistically is impossible. I partially digress. Now, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know how they would possibly break up Google. This is like Standard Oil or any of those companies where you could supposed to have all those refineries all over. Google has all the data centers, but the Google search engine is one thing. I don't know, there's been rumors for years that maybe they'll force the Google Ads division to break off or something like that. I'm not sure how conceivable that is, since those two companies or two parts of the business are so closely entwined with each other. And I'm not sure what the consumer preference is in terms of, will consumers actually shift away for something? That's why I'm pretty skeptical. I don't know how they would conceivably break up Google. And really any fine would be laughable, since again, they're almost profitable, largest companies on the planet. I mean, even if they were to find them $1 billion, it's nothing for Google. I mean, their market cap is worth more than most countries. So it is interesting that a judge did finally rule this monopoly, but what will be done? I mean, I'm not too sure, but let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have McDonald's. Well, they're going to debut limited edition glasses, which may boost sales. Now, this comes with thanks to Axios, specifically Kelly, who's a writer over there. And we'll see. Maybe McDonald's was able to cash in on some nostalgia, and less and less people are shopping over there as their prices have skyrocketed greater than the U.S. debt. That's a depressing finance pun since it just passed $35 trillion for the first time in U.S. history, thanks to the ineptitudes of our politicians. I mean, we now spend more money on just the interest for the loans than the actual defense budget. Just the interest. We're not even paying off the principal. It's ridiculous. Because national deficit, we're going to have to sell something useless we might use, like, I don't know, like Hawaii or something. I like partially kid. What do they produce over there? Yeah, about that. But I partially digress. I know they have tourism. Now, comes to us again thanks to Axios. They say, quote, McDonald's collector's meal to come with a side of nostalgia. And here you can see those glasses, which they may actually be glass, which it's good for local economy in terms many glass products are manufactured in the United States. It's one of the few things that still is these days. But yeah, I wonder what the lawyers would think of handing out glasses these days. You always have to worry about that. Now, they say, quote, McDonald's is betting on nostalgia to drive sales with its next rendition of the adult Happy Meals collector meal. Which, again, not financial advice. However, anytime someone says it's a collectible item, just good rule of thumb is just laugh them out of the room. Because with the exception of the things where you have like Lamborghini or Bugatti, where like they'll have like three, like a limited edition where they have like three versions or three, SKUs. They're three, limited to three, something like that. Because again, the most hilarious thing is when you drive by a Toyota and one of the trim lines says like limited edition. It's like, it is technically and legally true, but I mean, it's only limited by how many they can produce and how it's not a collectible item or limited. But I only partially digress. They say, quote, why this matters. Limited edition meal, which launches August 13th, will come with a collectible glass in its fast food giant's latest attempt to bring consumers back. They also know that McDonald's $5 meal deal was extended at a majority of restaurants through August. So again, there's no conceivable way they can keep that long-term going unless they really find some magical new substance or magical robots to slash cost, I don't know, in half. I mean, the $5, it's a great value to consumer for the $5 meal. However, they're losing money on that. The franchisees, they're not happy at that. The only way they can even make it somewhat sense is it's artificially decreased the cost with like incentive mechanisms from Coca-Cola, which is using some of their marketing dollars to fuel this since they're the exclusive soda pop. Well, that's another funny question. Do you say soda or do you say pop? But there's the exclusive high fructose corn syrup distributor or seller for McDonald's, and all the restaurants have their brands. So it's only possible because they're offsetting some of the art. It's not realistic. It's not a realistic price. Is what I'm trying to say. It's artificially being lowered to make it even moderately feasible, and I don't see it conceivably being a long-term mechanism to grow sales. They say that, quote, company officials last week noted that restaurants experienced a notable bump from the promotion, which, again, for the consumers, it is a pretty good deal. You're getting that lower price point, and you're getting all the food. It's good for them, but not good for the franchisees, the people who own the actual stores. I'm sure they're not too happy. And they say, quote, the big picture, McDonald's special meals in the past included collaborations with celebrities, have driven sales, creating demand, and led nationwide ingredient shortages because there's so much demand for it, apparently. They said that the adult Happy Meals released in October 2022 started to sell out immediately. The meals' collectible toys quickly landed on eBay and online marketplaces, which people collect anything, yes, not good fiscally. Now they say, wait, the meal options include for breakfast hours a meal with a sausage, McMuffin, and egg sandwich, has brown hot coffee. They say that, quote, the rest of the day, the collector's meal of choice will include a 10-piece chicken McNuggets or Big Mac sandwich that both come with fries and a soft drink. They say between lines, the meal prices are set at the individual restaurant level and may vary by location. This is what Axios actually got as feedback from McDonald's. They say, quote, the company said that the cups spotlight classic keepsakes that are the hearts of fans, McDonald's experiences, including it's a teeny beanie craze of the 90s. Beanie Babies? Did I miss that? They say, quote, the 6 cups include a Barbie and Hot Wheels cup, Beanie Babies, which I know those, Coca-Cola designs, classic. Hello Kitty and Peanuts, not the food, the actual cartoon. Shrek, Jurassic Park, Minions. How are Minions from the 90s? I thought those are new. Is time going by that quick? No, that's newer. They also say they will have a McDonald's theme that includes Grimace and Boo Buckets on the design. They say, yes, but all the cups will come out at the same time, so what cup will be included in the meal is random, which is good for, the mystery box is one of the most fascinating marketing mechanisms since the dawn of marketing. People go crazy for that, and because it's quote unquote random, I mean, that could drive people to purchase more and more until they get the favorite cup design because you gotta collect them all, which perhaps the best marketing campaign in history is Pokemon or Pokemon. You gotta collect them all, which, yeah, it's a good way to sell your product. You have to collect every single one of them. You have to. That's what they say. So I'm sure this will be great for McDonald's promotion short term because, again, people love collectibles. And again, getting something out of McDonald's, that's pretty cool. You're getting a little glass that, if you do it right, might last you a fair amount of time. I mean, I got glasses from the 2000s eras, and they still work pretty good. Surprisingly, they haven't broken yet, knock on wood. But again, this is a good promotion, but it still doesn't address the root of the issue of McDonald's, which is their prices skyrocketing more than the U.S. inflation and the U.S. Deficit and the U.S. debt. I mean, realistically, especially with the minimum wage laws in California going to $20 an hour for minimum wage fast food worker, ridiculous, which also led to lost 10,000 jobs. But McDonald's really, and they are, exploring it, but they think the only conceivable way to get cheap food prices again for fast food is vast amounts of overwhelming automation technologies, outsourcing even more functions of the company, leaning on manufacturers. And I mean, with the amount of volume McDonald's already buys, I'm not sure how much negotiation room is left in terms of getting discounts for quantities of products or components of the hamburgers and stuff, or ingredients as they probably call them. So they're still in between a rock and a hard place, but yeah, it sounds like a fun little promo. I'm not sure. I mean, personally, I'm a little bit health nut, so I haven't gone to fast food in decades. But let me know in the comments. Would this inspire you to go out and go shop at McDonald's, get yourself a nice literal glass with is that a Grimace or a Barbie or a Beanie Baby on it? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, a little sad, you actually have Dell. Well, they're having some layoffs as they try to pivot away from their legacy products and go more and more to AI, which just that word AI should boost their stock a little bit. I only partially kid, but it is the biggest thing in IT, bar none. It's the biggest subject matter. Everyone's talking about it. And in some areas, the business is vastly revolutionary. It'll be scary once it takes over. Imagine your McDonald's robot coming after you because you didn't tip it. But I partially jest. But going back to Dell, let's see speaking of their stock, how have they been doing lately? Well, like most stocks, long term, again, not financial advice, they've actually been doing pretty good. And of course, hindsight's 2020. Wish I bought their stock years ago. Now, they've gone back and forth a couple times between going private and public. Now, currently trading, but granted, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, it'll change because that's what the stock market does. Currently trading for $88.22 per share, and increased 186% since their debut. Now, past 5 years, still pretty good, up 125%. Past year, pretty good, 60% increase. Year to date, not so great. Seeing a little bit of drop there. Got 17% or 17.96% growth. And yep, like most tech stocks, especially Dell, they're getting hurt hard this month. Although, actually, it's about the same discount rate as CrowdStrike. Again, not financial advice, but while not priced the same per share, they have both experienced about a 40% drop in the past month, which is a steep discount. Now, which company is more stable long term? I'll let you decide for yourself and make your own investment choices. But personally, again, my own IT company, we resell and install enterprise IT and IT services. What we've seen on our side of the bridge, or I don't know if you're not English, you're local, our side of the branch, because we're in Texas. Well, yeah, Dell sales are decreasing vastly. Partially because they're best known for it, I think, data center materials such as server storage. And for the drunken people, there's 18 people who do buy their networking gear. I don't know why, but they also have what they're best known for, I think, is PCs. And those sales this year have crawled down to basically nothing. I mean, personally speaking, there are a lot of companies, they'll have their refresh cycle. So they'll make a purchase of a laptop or a desktop and they have it in the system. So they refresh it every 4, 5, 6, 7 years, what have you, depending on the company's preference for risk. As the older the product gets, they usually a higher propensity that they will become more and more unreliable and break, with exceptions of things like products like locks. But I, of course, partially digress. With Dell, well, they are getting to AI and they're doing more and more software. And again, just the rumor of that a couple of months ago had Michael Dell being one of the most valuable persons on the planet because of the stock he owned, and it caused it to spike. Well, past couple of months, again, very few companies are buying laptops, which again, Dell makes great laptops. Don't get me wrong, I've used them throughout the years. But to me, I'm talking also laptops and data center, a lot of that stuff, like servers and storage, I mean, those sale rates are decreasing to very, very, very little. And that's what they're best known for. They're trying to pivot more into AI, of course. Like every company wants to be a software company because hardware, many people perceive it as becoming commoditized, especially servers. And they don't not willing to pay a lot for them, so they want to pivot away from that. So again, they dropped 39%. Now, past 5 days went down 22%. So they're not doing too great. Now, this article actually comes to us thanks to the Austin American Statesman, which is kind of ironic since many of their public policies and political policies are the antithesis of America, but I only partially can digress. They say, quote, again, this is from Andrew Salgado, who's a writer over there. They say, quote, Dell announces layoffs pivot to AI innovation as tech industry continues to scramble. There you can see there's actually a short little Google or a video where they highlight how Google also had similar layoffs, where they laid off about 12,000 employees in the beginning of, was it 2023? Which again is not too surprising. There you can see one of their logos slapped on the side of a building. Now they say, quote, after years of booming investment in innovation, a tech industry in transition is now seeing massive layoffs seemingly everywhere. The Austin-born tech leader Dell is no exception to this trend. In a memo to employees, Round Rock-based Dell outlined a plan to redistribute its sales and staff to emphasize artificial intelligence innovations in an attempt to position itself to compete in the future. In this redistribution, it seems that Dell has made the decision to downsize its sales staff and some managerial positions, and ultimately its worldwide workforce. Senior executives Bill Chantel and John Byrne wrote in an internal email from Dell saying, quote, we are getting leaner, we are streamlining layers of management and reprioritizing where we invest. Which is a very politically correct, very nice way of saying there's going to be more and more layoffs and your job is no longer needed and it is redundant. And to be fair, in many large businesses, there are some jobs that really don't need to exist, very similar to the bloated US government, where there are some jobs that are just for the sake of having jobs, as ridiculous as that might sound. Now, they say, quote, like many tech companies, layoffs are not new trend for Dell. In a filing with the SEC, the tech giant reported it had 120,000 global employees as of February 3rd, down from 133,000 employees in February 2023, decreased in nearly 10%. It's also following layoffs, which you have Intel recently announced they were going to lay off about 15,000 employees, correlating to about 15% of their workforce. And it's sad. Hopefully, they're granted in terms of major competitors to Dell. There are, of course, a couple. I mean, literally only a couple when it comes to servers. I mean, realistically, you'll have Hewlett Packard Enterprise, you have Lenovo, and then you'll have a couple people who go out and buy super micro servers, at least for the server part of the data center. And there are a couple competitors, so hopefully these, and again, the top sales reps are always able to be gainfully employed pretty quick, especially if they have a book of business. So hopefully people who are negatively impacted by this layoffs and this kind of trimming the fat from Dell, hopefully they're able to get a new job soon at a competitor and they'll be doing even better. And it's rough because, again, I mean, some of these folks is many times, and sometimes layoffs are, they're not, sad to say, it's not directly correlated to your role necessarily, or sometimes it's not necessarily your individual performance. It's more the concept of the company. And again, with some of these products, I want to say they sell themselves, but you don't need as much hands-on expertise and hand-holding with the end user to go through the purchasing process. And again, with AI, that's the hottest thing since sliced bread. And we're going to see that it will disrupt and do a lot of magical things for customers. Already seeing it in many areas. But it is rough to see that we have even more tech layoffs. And not to, again, it's political year, it's an election year, so there's already a lot of economic, political uncertainty as well. So, I mean, this seems to happen, of course, it happens every 4 years, but it seems to be even worse, anecdotally speaking. And again, I'm not a small parameter for the economy because my business works exclusively with businesses in mostly Texas. And yeah, most things are going down to a pause. And again, most of Dell's sales, and when you're talking about sales reps over there, they're all assigned to businesses. I mean, when you want a Dell as a consumer, mostly you're going to go on Amazon or Walmart or one of those other major I'll say kind of the 2-click purchase, so to say, where you're not customizing it as much. So it is rough, but again, hopefully they're able to find some new jobs soon. But not great news, and hopefully things pick up soon for business. But as I always say, time shall tell. Now going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Elon Musk. He is now tweeting about Kamala, and he tweets Kamala's communism speech, and it goes viral on X Twitter. Now, this, of course, comes to us thanks to, Elon Musk, and he is replying to a video. And before the video, as what Elon said, can quote, Kamala is quite literally a communist. She wants not merely to equal opportunity, but equal outcomes, which is both evil and mentally vacuous. But I guess we're not too surprised. Hopefully more and more people realize how this will just, don't Venezuela my America, some might say. So without too much further ado, I'll hear what she has to say.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks...
Keep in mind, what was it, 2 weeks ago, she was saying some speech or tweeting something, and she had a necklace that was in the design of a chain, as if she went to Petco or PetSmart and just bought a chain and spray painted it gold. But apparently it was a Tiffany chain worth like $75,000 or so. Was it like $65,000, $75,000 for a necklace? It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in fashion. You're saying something, because I've seen 1 or 2 of those rap videos throughout the years, and gold is not a great investment. I mean, it's usually barely keeping up with inflation, 2 or 3%, getting that financial advice. But yeah, at least with a watch, you could argue that Rolexes over time have increased at a greater percentage than just gold chains. And also, those are more works of art. But yeah, everyone has to end up in the same spot. Also, I have a neck chain that's worth more than a car, worth more than the average income of most Americans make in a year. Yeah.
might
And of course, she won't give up her wealth. That's never how it works.
need more. Equitable distribution.
Giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place.
So there's a big difference.
I don't know if she was speaking at like a aerospace manufacturer, but it's fascinating. She's sitting on a chair that looks like it was specifically engineered to handle someone like Lizzo. I mean, it looks like an industrial chair, almost out of like maybe an aeroplane. It is a tough chair.
Between equality and equity.
Well, I'll tell you right now, equality means everyone has equal opportunity. It's beautiful. That's what America founded on. Equity is morally, mentally, evilly vacuous, is evil, and has never ever been worked. Very similar to communism, Marxism. Everyone thinks these ideas are new, fantastical. No, I know they don't teach too much history books in public schools or much at all, but yeah, it's one of those instances where it's never, ever, ever worked. It's also evil. But again, the uneducated folks will say, oh, it's never truly been tried. Well, you've never truly read a history book, have you?
Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place, as opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place. And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more. So we all end up in the same place, right?
You all live in the pods, you all eat the worms, eat the bugs, you all have the same EV device controlled by the government, so you can't drive far or know or where you want to go. How is this not scaring the crap out of most Americans? Have they not read 1984, the most brilliant book, one of the most brilliant books of all time that was written? I mean, George Orwell is a genius. He's supposed to be warning about this kind of stuff. Fortunately, it looks like evil people used it as a roadmap.
We are proud of the fact that equity is one of our guiding principles. Proud of the fact that we understand equality is important, but not everybody starts out on the same base.
We see that people in our country are having an experience that is not equal. So when we talk about the work we are doing here together, it is recognizing that and being guided by this principle of what we must do in the spirit and in the interest of equity.
To put equity firmly at the center of our economic policy.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners.
Interesting that she chose that specific group. Now, this one pretty well got
It has to be.
Oh, terrible. Again, I don't know if Elon calls it a bug or a feature, but they always have the video redo itself as soon as you hover over it again. But what pretty well got 37.8 million views and 342,000. Oh, okay. I thought we could get to 343,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa, who is mentally vacuous, but an interesting leftist. And again, echo chambers get a little bit boring. So, of course, in true Luke fashion, he does not address the actual core argument that Elon is saying, or the concerns of communism being the most evil thing on the planet. But Luke still did get 6.3 thousand likes, so we'll read what Luke attempts to say. He says, quote, Elon is currently taking over the Western politics and trying to install America's president who has attacked the U.S. Capitol and was previously abated and embedded in taking power by a hostile foreign enemy of the world and a dictator. That man Elon wants to put in the White House is also a traitor, has been convicted of various crimes, and his campaign is being propped up financially by Elon and a handful of other billionaires. He will owe his power and should Elon's push to help install it into work. Mentally vacuous, yes. Again, if you want to look up corruption, look up Act Blue, where all their money is really coming from. Spoiler alert, above investigative reporters looked at the houses and they asked the people who live there, hey, have you donated all this hundreds of thousands of dollars to this campaign? Oh, you haven't? Fascinating. But I partially digress. Did he get 6.3 thousand likes? Did he get ratioed though? Let's see here. Orange Celian says January 6th imagery doesn't work when your VP candidate let the largest city in his state burn. Getting 497 likes. What was it? Dozens of people died during the George Floyd Summer of Love peace protest riots. Mostly peaceful protests, we were told. Yeah, that one. Yeah. $2 billion worth of property damage. And January 6th, the only person who died was someone that the police killed. Yeah. Let's see here. Martyism says, are you feeling hurt because he is stating the obvious? She's a communist and you know it, getting 360 likes. Going down more and more. Let's see. People did a couple of memes of Luke looking even more mentally vacuous than he already is. Going back to the main comments, you have Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz are both communists, getting 8.4 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman also says, but why do they want tampons in men's restrooms? I don't get it, getting 4.1 thousand likes, which that was one of Tim's things that he signed off on, I believe it was for also elementary school boys' rooms. Weird. Oh no, they say the right is weird. Let's see here. Ed Kratenstein, which, how does he make his money? He's got to be paid, but I don't know. He's one of the most leftist folks out there. But I follow him because, again, echo chambers get boring. He says, quote, using this logic, then Donald Trump would certainly be a fascist, getting 4.3 thousand likes. Obviously false, but again, got some likes. Going on, you have Firearms Policy Coalition saying, wonder why she would want to ban free speech and guns, getting 295 likes. Going down more and more. You have, is it Perkles the Great? Here. Zoom on that speech really quick, or that response. Perkles the Great says, quote, equity only works with totalitarianism. Every aspect of life is controlled by the government. The people won't comply and won't fit in, are killed by bullets, starvation, and concentration camp. The numbers are huge because people want freedom and DEI is incompetent. DEI is putting the unqualified in charge. Kamala. Yep. It's fascinating how they get really irate, angry if you mention that, even though she'll probably say she was. And Biden literally said he was going to pick someone based on their race and their gender, their race and their gender, which is, again, federally illegal. You can't hire people based on those things. And yet he did it. Thereby ensuring that he would not choose the most qualified candidate because he's eliminating resumes right off the bat and eliminating prospective VPs. But, they don't care about competency. I have a graph that says, or a little infographic saying, the truth about socialism, and you have Stalin, and it says 62 million dead. You have Adolf Hitler with 21 million dead. You have Mao at 49 million dead, getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, again, if public schools actually taught history, there'd probably be a lot less Americans who want to lean into communism and socialism, because, again, history book shows every single time it's been tried, it's failed not only miserably, it's been the most evil thing ever with millions of people dying. Scrolling down more and more. The persistence says, quote, if Trump doesn't win in November, there's no going back. Register and vote and treat this election with urgency it deserves. If you live in Pennsylvania, connect with me. We win PA, we win the White House. Getting 6.1 thousand likes. Maybe 6.2 thousand likes. Oh, no. It wasn't that last one to get to 6.2, but very, very true. Do not complain. If you don't vote, do not come and complain. It takes literally minutes, but can make all the differences in the world. It is quite disappointing that like, you look at the voter turnout in the United States, it's pitiful. It's nowhere near 100%. And again, if you pay taxes, you should be out there voting because, again, it's going to have a big correlation on your on your rights, on your salary, on everything. It's huge implications. It stinks because back in the day, no one cared about who was in D.C. because the government was so small, it really didn't affect your day-to-day life. Now it affects damn near everything. And don't get me started on how much we pay in taxes, not just income tax, but state income tax, federal income tax, gas tax, internet tax, alcohol tax, tobacco tax, inheritance tax, property tax. I mean, if you look at how much of that dollar you earn every day is really yours, it is heartbreaking. It's because the ineptitudes of the U.S. government getting more and more bloated thanks to, again, the left and the right throughout the years. So get out and vote, and I'll attempt to stay more on track. Now you have Chicago One Ray saying if it's Trump fans or Curtains votes getting 1.6 thousand likes. Jeremy Metz says, meet Tim Waltz. It says school teacher arrested. Tim Waltz is pulled over by a Nebraska state trooper for driving a silver Mazda at 96 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. The officer smelled alcohol after Mr. Waltz failed the field sobriety test and preliminary breath test. He was arrested and charged with speeding while driving intoxicated. Tim now spends his life running as vice president, putting tampons in the little boy's room and watching Minnesota be destroyed. There's a picture of him getting 170 likes, which, again, that's obviously not good. It's not smart. It's mentally vacuous, to say the least. I don't think it's going to be a big point of contention that voters are going to care about too much, since one was way back in time. And spoiler alert, Republicans have got caught for doing the same damn thing. It's not good. I think there should be a more cultural stigma around DUIs being unacceptable, have a lot more emphasis on having responsibility when drinking. I don't even think we should actually even try to find a way to. I mean, we shouldn't glorify drinking in general. It really doesn't do much positive for you. But yeah, I mean, I understand this is going viral in terms of this specific DUI tweet. But again, let me know if you think differently. Let me know. But again, I think Bush had the same issue, and you have some politicians who even worse, where they actually considered they actually were successfully charged with manslaughter because they were inebriated and they actually killed someone, which obviously that's even morally worse. In this case, it looks like he was driving and he was pulled over for speeding. Also, driving a silver Mazda is pretty pathetic as well. Not gonna lie. Unless it was RX-7. Maybe he was street racing. No, I can't do the Fast and Furious little songs, but I'll go back to the comments. Don't worry. We also have Marjorie Taylor Greene Presley's parody account saying Kamala Harris will turn America into a communist country, getting 5.8 thousand likes. Trump Army says there's only one candidate who can make America great again, and it's Trump. Well, AI was Trump and a lion, and says make America great again, getting 2,000 likes. Going down more and more. Let's see. Cheaty says Elon has never been angrier in his whole life, and we still have 90 days to go, getting 1.8 thousand likes. Yeah, again with the government censorship, and I mean they're gonna target X like there's no tomorrow. I suspect if Kamala wins. Elon Musk's parody account says she has changed her position on everything. Least real candidate we've seen in a while, getting 3.1 thousand likes. Yep. Jurgen says, well, Uncle Elon, if Kamala is a communist, Trump is Adolf Hitler 2.0. Rudimentary argument that we've heard for the past 10 years now, nearly. Did get 2.4 thousand likes, so you do have some contrarian statements brewing to the surface. Do one more here. Crazy Moment says Trump 2024 says, make no mistake, they didn't fail to protect him, they failed to kill him. There's a picture of Trump after the attempted assassination, which, yep, never forget the official reason we got after the Secret Service allowed Trump to be shot was, well, we didn't put a counter sniper on the roof because the slope was too high. The grade is too high on that slope. The head of the Secret Service said that with a straight face. It's because the slope of the roof. I don't know anyone with a modicum of intelligence who would actually believe her. Especially because the other counter snipers were on roofs with greater slopes. So yeah, never I wouldn't believe that for a second. And it is fascinating to see. I mean, Elon has got more and more culturally involved. I mean, he's one of the most well-known, well, if not the most well-known person on X Twitter. I'm actually surprised, a little disappointed he doesn't have you automatically follow when you sign up for Twitter. I mean, he should just do that and then just have a parody where he sits in the same desk position that Tom did from MySpace back in the day. That'd be a good April Fool's prank or something. I don't know. That'd make me smile again, a little nostalgia. But let me know, do you think we'll see Elon continue to become more and more involved in politics? And what kind of role could he play? Again, he's already debunked the fact that he's not giving Donald Trump $45 million a month. He has set up his own super PAC. Again, I'm skeptical. I don't think he's going to donate that much, though. For sake of his businesses, I don't think he'd be out of the realm past. I think that'd probably be a good idea. But let me know, do you think he'll continue to be this involved in politics, or do you think he'll lean off as maybe Tesla sales go down? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have Tim Waltz Minnesota video going viral, perhaps San Francisco 2.0, which is saying something. Now, I believe this video, again, it's from actually from Libs of TikTok over on X Twitter. Pulling up her profile really quick, and it says Tim Waltz Minnesota, and it's only about 16 seconds long. Wait, is there cliche sad music maybe? No. So here, what's that? That's pretty rare. You see a General Motors truck on the road. It looks like it's mobile. It's not a cinder block, so it actually is operational. Only partially kid. I actually believe it's actually a good old dually too. Good old Chevy. And yeah, in the middle of the streets, you have tents everywhere. I mean, REI stock is probably through the roof. Kidding, I'm pretty sure most of these are used tents. It looks like a, what is that? What's that stupid concert everyone goes, like a Coachella concert? Yeah, imagine living in that apartment complex, or that if that's your house. Let's see. We can count them. Oh, maybe is that a house? All right, in front of this one structure, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And get the truck blocking some. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 20. So then there might be more because the truck blocked a little bit. No less than 27 tents in front of that one. I can't tell if it's an apartment complex or a large single family home. Yeah, that's insane. And they're out there in their sweaters, and they're there to stay. They got chairs and everything. And those chairs actually look pretty industrial. They're not just a couple are the cheap, plastic, single piece plastic mold ones, but some are reinforced chairs that, I mean, it's almost as if they're building a whole city out in front of this guy's house or this building. That's insane. I mean, more and more a horror movie. Jeez. Minnesota. And just like Diet Canada, also known as communism. And Mr. Pretty Probably got 1 million views as well as 30,000 likes. One of the top comments comes from Cash Loren saying, quote, "This is what America will look like if Harris and Waltz get into the White House," getting 132 likes. Paul Zupa says this could be any Democrat-led city, sadly, getting 36 likes. Fair point. Planet of Memes, but they did not respond in meme form. A little disappointed there. But Planet of Memes says, quote, "The California of the North," getting 44 likes, which, politically speaking, especially, and culturally, it is the most, I think it's actually bluer than Illinois, because again, Illinois is very, very blue, but mostly in the, I was about to say, the city war zone of Chicago, which again, they'll be good next year. They'll turn that around, just like the Chicago Bears. That's funny, because statistically speaking, no, they have not and will not. Scrolling down more and more. Here's an even better video. We have, let's see. Eddie says, Minneapolis, before and after Governor Tim Walz allowed BLM to destroy it. About a minute long. It says, it's from 2020.
It's just...
Oh, terrible music. Let me get that. Looks like, what is that? Can't tell if it's a restaurant. But yeah, before and after, and the restaurant's been burned to a crisp. Is that rock? Because they probably have microwaves instead of grills. They have a liquor store that, jeez, is burned to the ground. Oh my god. Looks like you got a nice corner store. Wow, every business is destroyed. Look at that. has a kind of a little strip mall with the building. I don't forget what the specific structure is, but yeah, it looks like the corner anchor store of this building was a Denny's, and you have a bunch of those individual stores throughout the whole facility on the first level, and yeah, dozens of individual businesses, and then they're all closed down. You got a fence around it. You got planks and wood was bordered up all over it. Wow. It looks like you got Popeyes. I was gonna say that's how it's a long time ago. It looks like they're selling for $4.59. And it doesn't even say tore it down completely. It was so destroyed. Yeah, what was that? A Perkins? Is that a food place? Completely boarded up and fenced off. Looks like got a couple restaurants, another building completely just demolished to nothing after it was caught set aflame. Looks like a Speedway gas station. I haven't seen those in a while. And wow, I mean, it's completely just spray painted, burnt to a crisp. The sign's gone. Is it? And ironically, oh, someone spray painted, where there's people, there's power. Yeah. These same people are going to cry about food deserts. Why did the businesses leave? Oh, gee, I wonder why. Wow. Like a third world country. Have a family dollar before and after. Yeah, it's gone. And it's gone. Over $2 billion in damages. Fascinatingly enough, Kamala Harris then implored people to go help bail them out. And actually set a GoFundMe link or some type of link in her ex-Twitter profile. She tweeted out saying, hey, you could help these protesters out, get them out of jail. And she did. Scrolling down more and more. Yeah, you have this is creepy. So Tim Watt's wife, apparently when it was being burned to the crisp, and they were allowing it to be burned to the crisp, she opened her window to smell it?
I would say those first days, when there were riots, I could smell the burning tires. And that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
Again, perhaps it shows her decrease in IQ points. Spoiler alert, most of those tires have a little bit of chemicals in them. It's probably not healthy to inhale that. Probably not recommended. But maybe that's the newest drug I haven't heard about that they're lighting up these days. There you can see the mostly peaceful protests with the city being set aflame. Got 32 likes for that comment. See, there's any contrarian statements here. I'm not seeing many. Paratrooper Brady says, if you go drive through your Somali district, you'll get beat up there for just being white. Getting 40 likes. Yeah, Minnesota is just Somalia. There are so many people moved there. They redesigned the beautiful, it used to be historic flag of Minnesota, or Minnesota, some might pronounce it. They designed it to a rudimentary thing that looks like a kid could draw it with crayon, and it looks just like the Somalian flag, which also looks like a rudimentary flag that you can design in Microsoft Paint. Not that I'm dissing Microsoft Paint, it's a great program, but let's be honest, it's no fancy Adobe. So, yeah, Minnesota has been the cultural decay for some time. Now, how well is that known on a national level? And how many people are going to talk to their friends and say, have you seen this? Have you seen what has happened under this person's leadership of the state? Is that what you want on the national level? Hopefully more people talk about that in the water cooler, because again, there are some, trying to think if there's any redeeming factors about this guy. Pretty much the antithesis to most business policies or public policies that I would ever want. But let me know in the comments, do you think this will be a viral moment? Do you think it will go even more on the internet? Will more and more people talk about it? It's more widespread? Let me know in the comments, because as always, it'll be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Kamala Harris's VP Tim Waltz saying that you have no right to free speech for quote-unquote misinformation or hate speech. Which, granted, he's a politician, and most politicians, I don't think they've ever actually read the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, or the Federalist Papers, or pretty much anything by the Founding Fathers, which is unfortunate. There's probably an exam, because there are many people, left and right, that appear to have no intelligence at all when it comes to what our country is founded on and what we stand for. And a lot of them are saying the quiet part out loud more and more, which I love, because again, more data the better. Let everyone know these policies, let everyone know where they stand, let the voters decide, and we'll see where it happens. Hopefully, well, again, if they actually try to ban free speech, it will get sent to, it'll always be settled in the courts and the lawsuits, of course. And I mean, Bill of Rights is pretty gosh darn clear, so you would think. So they'll rule in our favor eventually. Now, this comes with us thanks to End Wokeness on next Twitter. He says, quote, "Holy shit, Governor Tim Waltz says no right to free speech if the government decides it's misinformation or hateful. This man is a dangerous commie," which, fact checked, true. And this is on an interview I guess he did with MSNBC, which at least he did suit up. He did one thing in his life right. Might be a short list, but he did do that. Here we go.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Spoiler alert, there absolutely is. Now, you might be an a-hole if you say things that are hateful. I mean, you might not have a lot of friends, especially if you, in the United States these days, come out as you're coming out as a racist, you're not going to get a job anywhere. You're not going to have many friends in your corner. You'll be socially ostracized, but it is your right as an American to say it. The purpose of the Bill of Rights is specifically to design to protect the things that are not popular or not controversial. I mean, nowadays it seems like everything's so controversial. Even if you come out and say this is a twig, someone else will say, "Oh, this is a branch," and of course there'd probably be a public debate on that. But again, uncontroversial things like water is good for you as long as it's not, Detroit or Flint, Michigan water. I mean, this say water is good for you. No one is going to try to ban that speech. Everyone's probably going to say, well, yeah, water is good, yeah. That's not controversial. No one's going to file a lawsuit about that. No one's going to try to cancel you. No one's going to try to blacklist you or shadow ban you because of that statement. I mean, of all the speech, the unpopular speech is the one that needs to be guarded because it's the one that is going to be under threat of being canceled, being shadow banned, being erased from history. Again, when it comes to any debate or public ideas, I mean, you want as many ideas out there to get the best ideas to brew to the surface. And say misinformation, so many things have been proven wrong over the past couple of years. Many things that still get me banned on places like YouTube, or more for now, not banned, but the videos are just pulled off immediately. So you can't even talk about them, medical things, even if the facts, especially if the facts don't align with what the message is being told. And the government, they themselves have changed their opinions on a myriad of things throughout the years, especially recently. I mean, one of the best use cases that was pivotal in the 2020 election was the Hunter Biden laptop. We had 50 government officials who were all signed on saying it's completely Russian disinformation, is completely, as British would say, bollocks, it's wrong. And social media, all shadow banned, they all cracked down, they wouldn't let it be shared. Because they said it was misinformation if you report on it. And we now know that it's a fact. So spoiler alert, the government lied, who would have thought they'd do that. And also, if the government was in control of social media, which again, they already have them doing an overwhelming majority of social media is already doing their bidding, which again, is unconstitutionally illegal in terms of restricting free speech. There's only one or two. You get X, Twitter, thankfully, and Rumble, which is awesome. So you have some free speech left. It's not very many options these days, but there's some. If the government was in charge of all of them, that would be horrifying. I can't think of a single upside of the government controlling speech. Be the worst thing in history. And again, I don't teach much history in public schools. Again, I just have to carry out. There are a couple good public school teachers. I know a couple of them. They're exceptional. They're awesome. But yeah, the U.S. big government controlling all the schools probably isn't a great thing. Yeah, it's one of those things where if they actually taught history more, they'd show that, oh yeah, every time the government cracks down on individual rights, the worst, most evil things in history always happen every single time. And this is someone who's running for VP of the United States saying, well, government's going to come in, we're going to clamp down on this. And this isn't one of the things where it's a pie-in-the-sky conspiracy theory. It's already being rolled out in other communism areas like Canada, as well as the UK. It's evil. You get arrested or fined in some countries if you just so much as quote-unquote misgender someone. Or if you just critique the government. Especially in Canada, which is a lot of material to work with because the little bastard of Castro, or alleged bastard of Castro, has just trampled on so many individual rights. I read a couple books on that because there's so much material there. But if you're a citizen of that country, heaven forbid, well, you can get fined or imprisoned for critiquing the government. It's ridiculous. And don't say it can't happen here, because it can. A lot of people are especially worried it will. Some individual states are already passing laws that are restricting more and more free speech. Michigan, again, I believe it only passed the House and has been signed off on yet, but they want to make it illegal to misgender someone. Which again, a lot of people who are, well, biologists or, religious folks or just average Americans, they realize that compelled speech is not only evil, but it's also totalitarian. And you're also messing with someone's individual rights or individual beliefs. Also science, real science. But I partially digress. Let's see what the folks in the comments have to say. Maybe I'm alone in this analysis. Well, Brett Pretty Val got 1.9 million views and 30,000 likes. One of the first ones coming from End Wokeness, also say, quote, "Hi, Matt Welkling, doing an amazing job exposing the radical Harris Waltz ticket," getting 1.4 thousand likes. The Liz variant used, looks like they used some AI or some type of, was it Adobe? I don't know. They look like overweight superheroes, but it has Tim and Kamala with him having tampons in his nose. It says "Super Commies" as a Russian hammer sickle on it, getting 200 likes. Arthur Eagleman says, quote, "He's a far left commie who likes horses and tampons," getting 1.4 thousand likes. The Rabbit Hole says misinformation experts have a certain leaning which can impact which speech is deemed and which is not. Risky path to go down. It shows the political leaning of misinformation experts. It says far left, about 15%. Fairly left, 43-ish%. Slightly left, 28%. Center, about 10%. Slightly right, 5%. 0 fairly right, and 0 far right. Yep. Extremely one-sided, which again is not good. I got 561 likes. Calvin Rugg says, quote, "If these two get into office, they'll immediately target X," getting 996 likes. True. You have Paul Zupa say, quote, "There's no guarantees of free speech," unquote, getting 218 likes. That's literally the point of the Bill of Rights. Yet this Tim is saying, "Oh yeah, there's no guarantee." Can you not read? I mean, is that above his pay grade? Or maybe he's just evil, and he knows he's just going to trample on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Planet of Memes, again, no meme, I'm a little disappointed. They say, quote, "The Democrat Party is fully embraced communism," getting 178 likes. Cash Lauren says, "Tampon Tim is a full-blown communist," getting 30 likes. Rick Suit says, "Only the government is allowed to use misinformation, right, Tim?" Getting 663 likes. One for me, too. Mindy Robinson says, "Or what, you F..." Cover your ears if you have children listening, but she says, "Or what, you fat fuck. I believe in Jesus and the afterlife. I doubt the slags you send after me do." Getting 251 likes. Democrat Media TM has the MP, was it the MPC or the NPR? Political pun, kind of. The group of NPC people, and says, "Free speech is dangerous unless the liberals control it." Getting 366 likes. AKA says it's dangerous as F, getting 136 likes. Yeah, Amit Shah parody saying Tim wants driver's license for illegals. Weak, failed, dangerously liberal, just like Kamala, getting 32 likes. But yeah, they thought it'd be a good idea to incentivize illegal immigration by giving them a driver's license. And a path to vote, getting 32 likes. Let's see if there's any contrarian statements here. Because again, there are some morally and mentally vacuous people who think, "Oh yeah, speech is violence, it's terrible, it's evil." See here. Scrolling down more and more. Truth Trump lies. It says, I forget what it is, the little meme with the little cartoon that's screaming. It says, "What do we want?" And it says free speech, and they say, "For everybody?" And then it's response, "Just for us," getting 10 likes. So yeah, of all the policies that, they have running for them in terms of the Kamala Tim ticket, I mean, this should be one of the biggest things that come to people's attention on the campaign trail. Everyone should realize how scary this is. And hopefully, I mean, there's a huge ripple effect. Hopefully, more and more people see that video. Hopefully, more and more people realize they actually want to ban free speech. They want to ban speech they don't agree with. Hopefully, the average American still believes in free speech. I'm a little pessimistic on how many of them truly do, but hopefully enough of them still do that they actually will go and fight for it at the ballot booth and actually vote differently. But let me know, do you think, again, there are nice people who think, you shouldn't have free speech? Do you think those outnumber the people who do? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have a Democrat named Jamie Raskin. He has a plan to stop Trump even if he was duly elected after the upcoming election. Now, this comes to us thanks to DC Drano, which he says, quote, "Representative Jamie Raskin says Congress will stop Trump on January 6th using the 14th Amendment and create civil war conditions. These uniparty sneaks are the greatest threat to our country that's ever existed, and they won't give up power without a fight." And usually say what the people in the video have to say is infinitely more fair than mine, but in this case, not so much. Without too much further ado.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but...
Interesting how no one on the right has attacked Biden. When you ask them, what do they think of Biden? They say, well, he's an old man. He should probably go retire with the family, have some ice cream cone in a nursing center. And yet, the other side is literally shot and attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. Caused $2 billion of property damage during the George Floyd Summer Love riots. Yeah. And the police on January 6th opened the doors and guided people through the building. Interesting.
But these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that.
And this is pretty valid. Got 1.4 million views and 28,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Planet Memes, finally with a meme. The Planet Meme says the Uniparty is evil. Can't pronounce today. Again, another friendly reminder to click that subscribe button, as it does help me with my speech. I have that theory. When I first started the show, I had no subscribers, very few, if any. And believe it or not, my speech was worse. I spoke mostly monotone, way too fast, yes, faster than now, and mispronounced darn near everything. But as I've gained slowly but surely more subscribers, my speech has become a little bit more articulate. A couple of folks might argue it's just a modicum of improvement. However, I believe it's improvement nevertheless, and it's because the increased subscriber count. So if you do me a favor, click that button. I will someday have the experience of going through a whole show speaking perfectly articulate. That's all older I know, but someday it may very well might happen. Now again, Planet Memes has a picture of a snake with 2 heads and says the Uniparty, and one head is the Republican Party, one side is Democrat. Got 411 likes. Now you also have Wall Street Apes, who says if we had real federal law enforcement or real military, these people would have been arrested or tried for treason a long time ago. Instead, every institution in America has been captured by deep state installed puppets. You have 1.3 thousand likes. Also, on that note, it's kind of concerning when you have a majority of government employees being very much one-sided politically. Not good for the country. Joe Riley says, I'll defeat Raskin. He won't be anywhere near the House floor. The threat was abysmal enough, but his smug, arrogant confidence in his being reelected is either proof that he's out of touch with my district, or the fix is in and he's just exposed. Help me fight this evil king. 513 likes. Recall Katie Hobbs says Obama fantasizes constantly about triggering a civil war, but if he could do it, he wouldn't have shipped 20 million unvetted illegals at the last 3 years. Getting 152 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Capitalist Mike says our own government has become the greatest threat to our own survival. There is only one way to fix it, and the left is doing everything they can do to ensure it happens. Getting 199 likes. Which, I mean, the best way to fix it, go out and vote. Again, the rate at which Americans vote in the United States is abysmally low and disappointing. The greatest mechanism for change in the United States, peaceful protests, actual, ones with good old Hobby Lobby card stock, as well as going to the ballot box and casting your vote. And also knowing the actual person, not just voting down party ticket, especially for Republicans, because there's so many rhinos out there, pejoratively known as Republican in name only, where they say Republican, but it comes to what they stand for, their voting patterns, not so much. You have Getting Trump November now says he is also constitutionally illiterate, as most of them. They want the 14th to reflect their views, not reality. DJT has never been charged with insurrection. They just use it as a pejorative. True, getting 342 likes. Going down, we have Craig Chamberlain saying, quote, anyone else notice our leadership is seldom talks about the will of the people anymore? Getting 654 likes. It's a rare thing for them to actually, I mean, we've paid so much in taxes. What have they done for us? I would love to see that list of bullet points. For all we pay in taxes. And yet, our roads are still mostly terrible. And a lot of our money goes to countries most Americans can't point to on a map. Yeah. Matthew J. Show says Marxists do what Marxists do, getting 230 likes, quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see, is this the mechanism they use so that if Donald Trump does win the election, they just oust him the next day? I mean, we've never seen this type of lawfare in a lifetime. I mean, at this point, I would say nothing's off the table in that regard. And I wouldn't be too surprised if they're already trying to put up barriers and trying to, if Trump does win, try to limit his power even more than ever. But let me know in the comments, do you think this will be an effective mechanism that they utilize if he is elected? Or do you think we'll even get to that point? Let me know it, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Cori Bush losing, and she claims that she is now radicalized. Now she is. Right. Now this comes to us thanks to Laura Loomer over on the X Twitter, in which she says, quote, watch, after losing her election, Hamas supporter and squad member Cori Bush says that she is now radicalized. She says, it sounds like a threat. Cori Bush is a domestic terrorist and should be treated as one. I mean, the only thing more offensive in her speech is her outfit. Fashion burn. She's wearing a white suit? Or what is that? It's not even a suit. Is it? White suit. Interesting. Well, I was going to say it might be a little painful for your balls, but it's only about 40 seconds. But let's see what she has to say.
Clear. Let's be clear. Let's talk about what it really is. Because see, now I don't have to worry about some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job. But all they did was radicalize me, and so now they need to be afraid. See, now they about to see this other Cori, this other side, because clear. Let's be clear.
I mean, physically, I would never want to see her other side. I don't think many would, but yeah, politically, I don't know what she's going to do now. Or where she's going to crawl over to. But yeah, she's been a controversial member of the squad for years. I'm trying to remember, what are her bullet point accomplishments? Not many for the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, or the American people, but I partially digress. My profile got 1.4 million views, as well as 28,000 likes. The first one is coming from JUAP saying, while we're at it, says vote her ass out. Open primary August 13th. Got 940 likes. I think it was Ellen Omar. You have, let's see here, Texas Patriot MAGA saying, is Cori Bush threatening Americans now? In her own words, we should be afraid. Where's the FBI getting 227 likes? Probably arresting people praying outside abortion clinics, knowing their track record. And arresting those fathers at gunpoint in front of the children. Dell says, this sounds like a threat. Cori Bush sounds way too entitled, getting 211 likes. Gina Gator, interesting name, says, 2 down. And it's got a little picture. It's got all the folks on there. Got AOC, Omar, Presley. Is that Jana Pickett Smith? Maybe. They also have a Rachel Tlaib, got Caesar, Lee, and Ramirez. I got 474 likes. Terror 2.0 says Cori Bush is disgusting anti-American scum, getting 453 likes. American Papa Bear says, quote, we already knew she was radical. Maybe she should go get a job in Gaza. Getting 383 likes. Eileen says, excuse me, Cori, you lost to a black man. Wesley Bell, you lost because you suck. Getting 282 likes. Deb Hogan says, Cori Bush needs to be put on a terrorist watch list. Words matter, right? Getting 408 likes. Well, only if you're on one side of the political aisle. Paratrooper Burr Brady says, quote, typical Democrat, they don't get their way, they resort to violence. Getting 597 likes. Here. Reject Degeneracy says she was angry when she wasn't in the House Hamas caucus. You got pictures of AOC, Omar, allegedly Jada Pickett Smith, probably. Although it says Presley there. And then they have Tlaib getting 31 likes. Al Grosty says this seems to be a pattern here. And this picture of John Wilkes Booth attempting to assassinate Abraham Lincoln says, when Democrats don't get their way, they get dangerous, getting 74 likes. He also had rejected Judge saying, quote, Mount Moron just lost one of them, and it's her face on a bastardized Mount Rushmore parody. The Mount Moron getting 79 likes. You also have Moon Soon saying the person has no place in our government. I'm praying for her bestie receives the same treatment next week. Anyone who votes for these women are a threat to national security, getting 23 likes. Unity Party Bomber says, keep taking their power from them and watch them screech. Feed the communists more of what they hate, getting 35 likes. Also have Thomas Lund saying Cori Bush is a thug, getting 110 likes. I'll be interested to see where she goes from here. Again, I think maybe we'll see more of this trend of people on the far left being voted out of politics. It's certainly not the first time we happened. Globally, we have seen that more and more. That trend is increasing. But will that continue to happen in the United States? I mean, the prospective VP on the Kamala Harris ticket is one of the most radical ones we've seen in our lifetime. Will the American people reject that? Will they go with the trend, or will they embrace it? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Harley Davison, the boycott continuing, and they decide to lock every single one of their posts. Here's a sure sign that, I'd say you're not American because you don't believe in free speech. And also, yeah, your marketing campaign is not working, and they seemingly have done nothing to address all the issues of them embracing DEI, the pride parades where kids are present, and a myriad of other controversial things. Which, again, that was exposed by Robbie Starbuck a couple weeks ago. And it almost seems like Planet Fitness is the same thing. They haven't posted almost half a year, which in social media is considered probably equivalent to about 12,000 years. Basically forever. And Harley Davidson, they got a new CEO, decided to embrace the DEI stuff, which, again, the 10 largest shareholders, when you look at Harley Davidson, an overwhelming majority of them are investment firms that do believe that DEI is good for they believe it's a good thing. They're pushing it. Of course, you have the cliche. You have BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. You also have one that is owned by Bill Gates, is one of the largest investors. That was for the John Deere instance. But John Deere, this seems to be going in the same boat. And they didn't understand the customer base, which, again, is not really embracing the DEI stuff. And now, he can't even reply to anything. So I thought this is not really amusing. And again, they're going back in time. It's so bad. They're going back to old posts from like months, weeks ago. And they're just locking it down. So unless they tag you, let me pull this up. So one slipped it through the cracks. So this is from, what is this? What date is this? From July 28th. It says, signing off from Milwaukee, what's your favorite moment from the Homecoming Festival? See you next year. Oh, they probably won't see many next year. They got 44,000 views, 167 likes, which is a terrible like ratio. It says, who can reply? Only accounts at Harley Davidson follows or mentioned can reply. Now, the only comment, I'm sorry to say it's not gotten deleted yet, the only comment that is showing right now is from Jed Egert, and says, Harley loves trannies, getting 26 likes, which maybe Harley thinks that's a compliment. Again, there's a segment in the market that will buy Harley Davidson bikes maybe because of this cultural policies that they've embraced. Very similar to the Bud Light phenomenon. I don't think that segment of the market is big enough to sustain a business, yet alone offset the sales that they are losing because of these policies. Now, going over to a couple other ones. Let's scroll down a little more. Is that the one? Yeah, Harley Davidson. This one is. Well, let's see. Let's finish this community or this let's finish strong with a show of power of the motorcycles and the community. Fascinatingly enough, there's not a single picture of the American flag, or even the Milwaukee flag or Wisconsin flag, or the Harley Davidson flag. A little disappointing. I thought they had the flags on the motorcycles. Nevertheless, again, they locked down this tweet from July 29th. Now, this one's from Jet Eaker. It says, only queers ride Harley. We got 28 likes, which, again, the original post got 187 likes. I'm surprised they haven't deleted that yet. That's one or two out more. Let's see. Harley Davidson, July 27th, says, we can't get enough pictures. Milwaukee goes hard. I assume that's some types of sports balls enthusiast over there. Looks like they're in a jersey and singing something. Or maybe he's just a rock star. And, got 300 likes. But when we click on it, it's locked down. There's all accounts only that they follow or mention can reply. Now, interesting enough, the two that are shown are people just kind of cliche saying, oh yeah, I love Harley. It's great. I don't know if it's a bot or someone has the personality of a bot, but yeah, this isn't how you turn around the boycott. In locking down all your comments. See, they're leaving the latest one for July 30th. Yep, not even a single comment. See, they say it's maybe a spam. No. So they got, in the last post, they got 207 likes out of 45,000 views. If anything, it's just fueling more people to talk smack about them. And again, people don't like, especially Americans, because again, our country is founded on free speech, don't really like when our rights are taken away from us, or they say you're not allowed to have free speech anymore. And Harley Davidson has still not addressed the elephant or the donkey in the room. And a lot of consumers are just irate. Even local folks I know who are into Harley, and a lot of them are there. I know a lot of people are actually, someone actually appreciated their comment in the YouTube video they left a couple of days ago when this really came to the forefront. They're saying that they might actually switch to a Honda product, which, I mean, truth be told, both things Honda seems to be making are bulletproof. That's why I love my little Honda Civic Si with a stick shift, as all cars should have by default. But yeah, those things are darn near bulletproof. Harley, I mean, they're not known for reliability. They're known for loud noises. They do make very loud noises. I'll give them that. The exhaust notes are very, very, very loud. But they're really known for the brand and the culture. And they decided from a corporate perspective, just seemingly embracing the antithesis of their previous culture. They're trying to find new customers, but again, the segment that is into the DEI is nowhere near big enough to sustain that business. And locking down the comments now in cowardice, not even allowing the free speech, I gotta say, Harley Davidson, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.